As the first rays of dawn stretch across the vast African savanna, a golden light bathes the endless grasslands and acacia trees. The air is crisp, alive with the distant calls of birds and the soft rustle of wind through the tall grass. In this breathtaking wilderness, every shadow tells a story, and every footprint marks a struggle for survival. Here, in the heart of Botswana, a formidable lion pride awakens. Their territory sprawls across riverbanks and sun-baked plains, a kingdom fiercely defended by powerful males and cunning lionesses. The pride's matriarch rises first, her silhouette outlined against the glowing horizon. She surveys her domain with a practiced gaze, every sense attuned to the subtle changes in her environment. Her movements are deliberate, each step a testament to years of experience and leadership. Around her, the pride stirs. Lionesses stretch languidly, muscles rippling beneath tawny coats, while the dominant males stand tall, their manes catching the first light as they scan the horizon for threats and opportunities alike. Cubs, brimming with restless energy, tumble through the dew-laden grass, their playful antics a vital rehearsal for the challenges that lie ahead. Under the vigilant eyes of their mothers and aunts, they practice stalking and pouncing, learning the ancient skills that will one day make them hunters and protectors. The pride's unity is its greatest strength. Each lioness knows her role. Some move in coordinated silence through the grass, scouting for prey or danger, while others linger near the waterhole, senses sharpened to the faintest sound or scent. The males patrol the boundaries, their deep roars echoing across the plains, a resonant warning to rivals and a powerful declaration of dominance. Beyond the pride, the savanna teems with life. Herds of impala and wildebeest graze warily at the edge of tall grass, ever alert to the presence of these apex predators. Vultures circle high above, waiting for the drama of the hunt to unfold. Every creature here is bound by the unspoken laws of survival, and the lions stand at the very pinnacle of this untamed hierarchy. As the sun climbs higher, the pride gathers beneath the shade of a sprawling acacia, bodies pressed close in a display of trust and kinship. A lioness grooms her cub, rasping tongues smoothing soft fur, while others rest, conserving energy for the trials of the day. With every sunrise, these lions reaffirm their place as the undisputed rulers of the wild. Their lives are a delicate balance of power, cooperation, and relentless determination. Today, we embark on an intimate journey into their world, witnessing the intricate bonds, raw strength, and unwavering spirit that define the strongest lion pride. Join me as we explore the untamed beauty and formidable might of nature's ultimate hunters, the true sovereigns of the African wilderness. Welcome to an in-depth journey into the world of Africa's most iconic predators, the lion pride. In this documentary, you'll be immersed in the raw, untamed beauty of the African wilderness, where every moment is a testament to the power, intelligence, and resilience of these extraordinary animals. Through high-definition visuals and expert analysis, we'll uncover the intricate social structures, survival strategies, and daily challenges that define the strongest lion prides. We'll begin by delving into the complex social hierarchy that governs every pride. You'll witness the subtle interplay between dominant males who defend the pride's territory and genetic legacy, and the lionesses whose cooperation and coordination are the backbone of the group's survival. We'll explore the nurturing behaviors that ensure the healthy development of cubs, from communal nursing to the teaching of essential hunting skills. Detailed observations will reveal how each lion's role, whether as a vigilant sentry, a skilled hunter, or a nurturing mother, contributes to the pride's unity and long-term success. Next, we'll provide a detailed breakdown of the pride's hunting strategies. You'll see how lionesses employ silent communication, strategic positioning, and coordinated teamwork to outmaneuver even the most alert prey. We'll analyze the use of terrain, how lions exploit cover, wind direction, and the element of surprise to maximize their chances of a successful hunt. Through slow-motion footage and expert commentary, you'll gain insight into the split-second decisions, physical prowess, and relentless patience that define every hunt, from the initial stalk to the final explosive chase. The documentary will then examine the constant battle for territory and dominance. You'll observe how prides patrol and mark their boundaries using scent and vocalizations to warn off intruders. We'll document the high-stakes confrontations with rival prides, moments of intense aggression and strategic posturing that can determine the fate of entire generations. Special attention will be given to the methods lions use to protect their cubs from threats, including rival males and opportunistic predators, highlighting the ever-present dangers that shape pride dynamics. Finally, we'll explore the daily rhythms that sustain a pride. You'll witness how lions recover and bond after a hunt, the rituals of grooming and play that reinforce social bonds, and the subtle hierarchy that governs access to food. We'll highlight the adaptability of lions as they respond to seasonal changes, shifting prey populations, and environmental pressures. By the end of this video, you'll have a comprehensive step-by-step understanding of the unique adaptations, social intelligence, and survival instincts that make lions the ultimate predators, thriving against all odds in one of the world's most demanding habitats. In the heart of Africa's wildest landscapes, the lion pride stands as a living testament to the intricate balance of nature. Their story is not just one of dominance or brute strength, but of complex relationships, cooperation, and the subtle forces that shape entire ecosystems. Every pride is a microcosm of the savanna itself, a network of individuals bound by blood, necessity, and instinct. By observing how these powerful groups function, we uncover the delicate equilibrium that sustains the vast grasslands, where every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest elephant, plays a part. Lion prides are the architects of the savanna's rhythm. Their hunts regulate the populations of antelope, buffalo, and zebra, preventing any single species from overwhelming the land. This natural control shapes the very landscape, allowing grasses to flourish and waterholes to remain vital lifelines for countless animals. As apex predators, lions maintain order at the top of the food chain. Their presence deters overgrazing, curbs disease outbreaks among prey, and ensures that the savanna remains a tapestry of life, rich in diversity and resilience. By studying the intricate relationships and strategies within a pride, we gain a window into the interconnectedness of all life here. Each hunt, each migration, and each birth is a thread in the fabric of the ecosystem, woven together by the lion's influence. Within the pride, every member has a purpose. Dominant males defend the territory from rivals and threats, their roars echoing across the plains as a warning and a promise. Lionesses, the pride's primary hunters and caregivers, work together with remarkable coordination, teaching their cubs the skills they'll need to survive. The cubs, through playful wrestling and mimic hunts, absorb the lessons of survival. Each tumble and chase is a rehearsal for the challenges they will face as adults, ensuring the pride's strength endures across generations. The health of a lion pride is a living barometer for the entire ecosystem. When lions thrive, it signals an abundance of prey and a stable environment. When they struggle, it is often a warning of imbalance, drought, disease, or human encroachment threatening the wild's fragile harmony. By studying these majestic creatures in their natural realm, we not only unravel the secrets of their survival, but also deepen our understanding of the intricate web of life that sustains the savanna. The fate of the lion pride is inseparable from the fate of the wild itself, a story of connection, adaptation, and the enduring power of nature. Dawn breaks over the Okavango Delta, painting the landscape in hues of gold and amber. From above, the river carves its way through a labyrinth of lush floodplains, its waters shimmering with the promise of life and danger. The camera plunges downward, immersing us in a world where every detail matters, where the soft imprint of a lion's paw in the wet mud tells of a night spent on the prowl, and the glistening droplets left behind shimmer like tiny jewels in the morning sun. The tall grasses sway gently, concealing the silent movement of Africa's most formidable predators. Shadows stretch and merge as the pride advances, each step measured, every muscle tensed in anticipation. At the riverbank, the pride assembles, their golden coats ablaze in the first light, eyes scanning the horizon for opportunity and threat alike. The air is alive with the calls of oxpeckers and the hum of insects, while crocodiles slip unseen beneath the surface, and elephants, silent and immense, move through the mist like ancient spirits. Nearby, impala graze nervously, their senses tuned to the slightest disturbance, while hippos lurk in the shallows, their massive forms barely visible. The pride's hierarchy is on full display. Lionesses crouch low in the grass, their gaze fixed on distant antelope, while the dominant male stands sentinel, his mane catching the breeze, his presence a silent warning to all who would challenge his reign. Cubs tumble and play at the edge of the group, learning the skills they will one day need to survive, watched over by vigilant mothers. Across the floodplain, buffalo and zebra stir, their movements sending ripples through the grass, while vultures circle overhead, ever watchful for the drama that unfolds below. Even the smallest creatures, reed frogs clinging to stalks, dragonflies darting between water lilies, play their part in this intricate web of life. Here, every moment is a test of strength, strategy, and unity. This is the heart of the Okavango, where the strongest lion pride must navigate a world shaped by ancient rivalries, shifting alliances, and the relentless pursuit of survival. Join us as we journey deeper into this extraordinary wilderness, uncovering the secrets and stories that define Africa's ultimate predators. As the sun dips below the horizon, the African savanna is bathed in a golden afterglow, the land shifting from vibrant day to the mysterious hush of twilight. The lion pride, undisputed rulers of this vast wilderness, gather in the tall grass, their bodies outlined by the last warm rays. The dominant male, his mane catching the fading light, stands as a silent guardian, his gaze sweeping the open plains for any sign of danger or opportunity. Nearby, lionesses move with practiced grace, their senses attuned to every subtle change in the wind, every distant rustle in the undergrowth. Cubs, full of boundless energy, tumble and leap, their playful antics a promise of the pride's future strength. Each interaction, whether a gentle nuzzle, a shared glance, or a coordinated movement, reveals the intricate social bonds that hold the pride together, forged through years of shared hardship and triumph. As dusk deepens, the pride's influence radiates outward. Antelope herds shift nervously in the distance, birds take flight in swirling patterns, and the rhythm of the savanna subtly changes in response to the lion's presence. The pride's nightly rituals, drinking at the waterhole, patrolling their territory, and communicating through low rumbles and flicks of the tail, are woven into the very fabric of this ecosystem. Under the rising moon, the savanna comes alive with new sounds, the distant call of a hyena, the soft chirr of insects, the gentle lapping of water. The lions move as shadows, their unity and strength shaping the fate of countless creatures around them. Their legacy is not only written in the land they roam, but in the delicate balance they maintain, ensuring that life in all its forms continues to flourish beneath the endless African sky. Thank you for joining us on this immersive journey into the heart of the wild. As the night settles over the savanna, the story of the lion pride endures, untamed, majestic, and eternal. As the last rays of sunlight fade and the savanna cools, the lion pride's attention sharpens. Their world is defined not by visible borders, but by a complex web of invisible lines, boundaries etched in scent, sound, and memory. These lines are the difference between abundance and hunger, safety and peril. For a lion pride, territory is not merely a patch of land, it is the very heart of their existence, a living map shaped by generations of struggle and survival. For lions, territory is a living inheritance, passed down through generations. It is a mosaic of hunting grounds, waterholes, and shaded refuges, fiercely protected and meticulously maintained. Every member of the pride, from the dominant males to the youngest cubs, depends on the integrity of these borders. The boundaries are not static. They shift with the seasons, expanding in times of plenty and contracting during drought, always adapting to the pulse of the land. The pride's domain is mapped not by fences, but by a network of scent markings and vocal signals. Males and females alike deposit their scent on bushes, grasses, and trees, using glands beneath their tails and along their faces. Each mark is a silent proclamation, an unmistakable warning to outsiders. These scent marks are renewed constantly, layered over old ones, creating a tapestry of olfactory messages that only lions can decipher. As dusk deepens into night, the pride embarks on its patrol. The cooler air carries scents farther, and the darkness offers cover. Moving in near silence, they trace the edges of their territory, senses attuned to the faintest disturbance. Each patrol is a ritual of vigilance, a demonstration of presence that deters would-be intruders and reassures the pride's own members. Lionesses, the pride's strategists, lead the way. Their noses sweep low over the earth, reading the stories left by other animals, fresh tracks, a lingering scent, the subtle shift of grass. They navigate through acacia shadows and tall grasses, always alert for signs of intrusion. Their acute senses allow them to detect even the faintest trace of arrival, and their memory for the landscape is unmatched. With deliberate steps, pride members reinforce their claim. Scent glands beneath their tails release a pungent marker as they rub against trees and bushes. This ritual is repeated night after night, layering the land with their identity. The act is both practical and symbolic, a constant reminder to all that this land is spoken for. Each scent mark is unique, carrying information about the pride's strength, health, and recent presence. For rivals, these signals are both a deterrent and a challenge, an invitation to test the resolve of the resident pride. The chemical complexity of these markings allows lions to distinguish friend from foe, and even to gauge the number and condition of their adversaries. Roaring is the pride's most dramatic declaration. As darkness settles, deep, resonant bellows ripple through the night, echoing across the plains. These roars are not random, they are timed and coordinated, often answered by distant rivals. The sound serves as both a beacon and a barrier, a way to announce the pride's presence and to probe the intentions of neighbors. When the pride roars in unison, it is both a show of unity and a warning. The sound can travel for miles, signaling strength and solidarity to any who might be listening. For neighboring prides, these calls are a reminder of the risks of trespass. The chorus of voices is a living wall, a sonic boundary that few dare to cross. The low-frequency vibrations of a lion's roar can be felt as much as heard, carrying through the ground and air. This natural alarm system is so effective that even the boldest intruders think twice before crossing into claimed land. The resonance of these calls lingers long after the last note fades, a persistent reminder of the pride's dominance. Occasionally, the patrol uncovers evidence of trespass, a foreign scent, a distant roar, or fresh paw prints pressed into the soft earth. Instantly, the mood shifts. Muscles tense, ears flick, and the pride's formation tightens. Every member becomes alert, ready to defend what is theirs at a moment's notice. If a rival pride is encountered, a tense standoff unfolds. Lions line up, heads low, tails lashing, eyes locked on their adversaries. Each side weighs the risks. Injury can mean death in the wild. The air crackles with anticipation as both groups assess the strength and resolve of their opponents. Growls rumble through the air, and posturing becomes a language of dominance. Sometimes a single charge or a thunderous roar is enough to send intruders retreating. The display is as much about psychological warfare as physical confrontation, with each pride seeking to outlast the other's nerve. But when neither side yields, These confrontations can erupt into violent clashes. Males grapple, claws unsheathed, while lionesses flank and harry the opposition. Yet more often than not, the threat of violence is enough to resolve the dispute without bloodshed. The cost of injury is high, and both sides know that survival depends on caution as much as courage. The pride's vigilance is relentless. Night after night, they patrol, mark, and vocalize, weaving a living boundary that shifts with the seasons and the fortunes of the pride. Their unity and discipline are the keys to their survival, ensuring that every inch of territory is accounted for and defended. These rituals are not just about defense, they are about survival. By securing territory, the pride ensures access to prey, water, and safe havens for their cubs. The youngest lions learn these lessons early, watching and imitating the adults, inheriting both land and legacy. The cycle of patrol and protection is woven into the fabric of pride life, shaping every generation. In the ever-shifting tapestry of the Savannah, territory is the foundation of life. The pride stands as its vigilant guardian, unyielding, united, and ever watchful, shaping the fate of generations to come. Here, in the golden grasslands, the story of the lion pride is written not in words, but in scent, sound, and the silent strength of their presence. As the first rays of sunlight spill across the dew-laden grasslands, the African savanna awakens with a quiet tension. The air is crisp, filled with the distant calls of birds and the subtle rustle of antelope herds grazing in the golden light. But beneath this tranquil surface, a lion pride is already at work, its members moving with purpose, their bodies low and eyes sharp, every sense attuned to the rhythms of the wild. Each lion is a living instrument in a symphony of survival, their movements orchestrated by instinct and experience. The pride's strength lies not in brute force, but in the seamless choreography of its members. Each lion, from the youngest cub to the oldest matriarch, is a vital thread in a living tapestry of strategy and instinct. Their unity is forged by necessity, honed by the relentless demands of the wild, and tested with every hunt. Unlike the solitary leopard, whose hunts are silent and solitary affairs, lions are masters of collective action. Their social structure is the foundation of their hunting prowess, allowing them to target prey far larger and swifter than any one lion could manage alone. This social bond is not just for companionship, it is the very engine of their survival. Before each hunt, the pride gathers in the tall grass, their bodies pressed close, heads low. There is no spoken plan, only a shared understanding, honed by years of survival and the wisdom passed down through generations. The matriarchs, with their deep knowledge of the land and prey, often take the lead, their subtle cues setting the stage for the hunt to come. Patience is their first weapon. Lionesses wait motionless for the perfect moment, sometimes for hours, letting the wind mask their scent and the grass conceal their forms. Every muscle is held in check, every breath measured, as they watch the herd for the smallest sign of vulnerability. The hunt begins with a silent signal, a flick of a tail, a subtle shift in posture. Instantly, the pride fans out, each lioness slipping into her assigned position with practiced ease. This is not random movement, but a carefully coordinated maneuver, each lioness knowing her role as if by instinct. The lead lionesses, seasoned by countless hunts, move first, gliding through the grass with barely a whisper, their muscles coiled and eyes locked on the herd ahead. Their approach is a masterclass in stealth, every step calculated to avoid detection. They spread into a wide semicircle, each lioness spaced just far enough to cover ground, but close enough to respond to the slightest cue from her sisters. This formation is a living net designed to corral and confuse the prey, to create opportunities where none existed before. Within this living net, every lioness has a role as distinct as her scent. The wings drift along the flanks, their movements subtle, guiding the herd's edges and nudging the most vulnerable animals toward the center. These lions are the tacticians, shaping the flow of the hunt with every step. These wing lionesses are the architects of chaos, their presence barely noticed by the prey until it is too late. They exploit the herd's natural tendency to bunch together in fear, using the landscape, rivers, termite mounds, and thickets to funnel their quarry into the pride's trap. At the heart of the formation, the center stalkers crawl forward, their bellies pressed to the earth, eyes never leaving their chosen target. They are the silent assassins, closing the distance with a patience that borders on artistry. Every inch gained is a victory, every pause a calculation, every movement is calculated, every pause deliberate as they inch closer, blending seamlessly with the swaying grass. The stalker's senses are heightened, ears flicking to catch the faintest sound, nostrils flaring to read the wind, eyes locked on the shifting mass of prey. In the very center, the youngest and most agile lionesses crouch, their bodies taut with anticipation. These are the pride's sprinters, chosen for their explosive speed and quick reflexes. Their role is critical, to close the final gap in a heartbeat, to seize the moment when chaos erupts. They wait for the signal, every muscle primed for the chase that will decide the pride's fate for days to come. Their eyes flick between the matriarchs and the prey, reading the silent language of the hunt. The elders, their faces marked by years of survival, scan the herd with unwavering focus. Their experience is invaluable, reading the subtle shifts in the prey's behavior, anticipating panic before it erupts. They are the pride's strategists, their wisdom guiding every move. Communication is silent but precise, a flick of a tail, a twitch of an ear, a ripple of muscle. These signals pass through the pride like electricity, aligning every lion to the same purpose. Even the subtlest gesture can mean the difference between success and failure. The pride moves as one, each member attuned to the others, adjusting speed and direction in perfect harmony. This unity is not accidental. It is the product of years of shared experience, of lessons learned in the crucible of the hunt. Silence is absolute. Even the youngest cubs, hidden safely away, know to remain still, their wide eyes watching the adults with rapt attention. The pride's discipline is unwavering, every lion understanding the stakes of the hunt. The pride's collective gaze sweeps the herd, searching for weakness, a distracted wildebeest, a limping zebra, a buffalo calf straying from its mother's side. Each potential target is assessed, the risks weighed, the opportunities measured. Vulnerability is opportunity, and the pride's tactics are shaped by the landscape, the wind, and the prey's every move. They adapt in real time, shifting their formation, recalibrating their approach, always seeking the moment when the odds tip in their favor. Suddenly, with a burst of energy, the lead lioness explodes from cover. Her charge is the spark that ignites the hunt. In an instant, the Savannah erupts into motion, the careful silence shattered by the thunder of hooves and the roar of pursuit. The herd erupts in chaos, hooves pounding the earth, dust swirling in the morning light. Prey animals scatter in all directions, but the pride's formation holds, each lioness anticipating the herd's frantic movements. The wing lionesses surge forward, blocking escape routes with swift, calculated movements, funneling the panicked prey toward the waiting center stalkers. Their timing is impeccable, their coordination flawless. The formation tightens, the net draws closed, and the chosen victim is isolated in a blur of motion. The pride's teamwork transforms confusion into opportunity, chaos into capture. The final sprint is a test of speed and stamina, lionesses racing through dust and grass, their bodies moving with astonishing power and grace. The air is thick with tension, every heartbeat a race against time. With a final leap, a lioness brings down the prey, her jaws closing with precision, honed by countless hunts. The struggle is brief but intense, the outcome determined by skill, strength, and the relentless unity of the pride. In the Serengeti, hidden cameras capture these moments of raw power and coordination. Lionesses working in perfect unison, their timing flawless, their resolve unbreakable. Every hunt is a testament to the pride's collective intelligence and adaptability. In one breathtaking sequence, 6 lionesses converge on a full-grown wildebeest, each one targeting a different angle, their combined strength overwhelming even the largest prey. Their tactics are fluid, each lioness adjusting her grip, her position, her force in response to the struggle. In another, a desperate chase through tangled brush ends with a triumphant roar echoing across the plains, a signal to the pride that the hunt is over and the feast can begin. The sound carries for miles, a declaration of victory and unity. While the lionesses are the architects of the hunt, the pride's males play their own crucial part. Their massive frames and thunderous roars are reserved for the most formidable challenges. When the prey is especially large or dangerous, the male's intervention can mean the difference between feast and famine. When a buffalo bull stands its ground or a kill must be defended from a pack of hyenas, the males charge in, their presence alone enough to tip the balance. Their power is a shield, their aggression a deterrent to would-be thieves. Their role is not just brute force, but guardianship, ensuring the pride's hard-won meal is not stolen by opportunistic rivals. The male's vigilance allows the rest of the pride to feed in relative peace, their authority undisputed. As the dust settles, the pride gathers around the fallen prey. There is an order to the feast. The dominant females eat first, followed by the subordinates, and finally, the cubs. This hierarchy maintains peace, ensuring that every member receives their share. The youngest watch intently, absorbing every detail, the way the adults tear flesh, the subtle signals that maintain peace at the table. These moments are lessons, the foundation of future hunts. Later, in the safety of the pride, cubs practice what they've seen, stalking, pouncing, and wrestling in the grass, their play a rehearsal for the real hunts to come. Through imitation and trial, they learn the tactics that will one day sustain the pride. Each successful hunt is more than a meal. It is a lesson, a celebration, and a reaffirmation of the pride's unity. The bonds forged in the hunt are strengthened in the sharing of its rewards, each lion reaffirming its place in the intricate social web. Nuzzles and gentle grooming reinforce these ties, the pride's cohesion as vital as its strength. These moments of tenderness are the glue that binds the pride, ensuring cooperation in the face of adversity. As the sun sets over the endless plains, the pride rests together, bellies full, their silhouettes framed against the fading light, the day's trials. Beneath the golden grasses of the African savanna, every lion pride is governed by a complex and dynamic social order, a living hierarchy that shapes every moment, from the first rays of dawn to the hush of nightfall. This structure is not static, but a constantly evolving tapestry woven from instinct, experience, and the subtle language of the wild. Each pride is a society unto itself, its members bound by invisible threads of kinship, rivalry, and cooperation. At the apex of this order stand the dominant males, majestic, muscular, and vigilant. Their presence is unmistakable, their authority established not only by sheer strength, but by the unity of their coalition. These males are the pride's sentinels, their every movement watched by the rest of the group, their decisions shaping the fate of all. Coalitions, often composed of brothers or close kin, are forged in the fires of youth and tested by adversity. From the moment they leave their birth pride, these males must rely on each other for survival, honing their skills, learning to read the land, and forging bonds that will be their greatest asset. Together they defend the pride's territory, their bond a bulwark against the ever-present threat of rival males. Patrols are relentless. The males stride the boundaries, marking and remarking, their senses attuned to the faintest scent of intrusion. When challenges appear, the response is swift, an explosive display of power, a reminder that this land and this family are fiercely protected. The boundaries are not just lines on the earth, but living frontiers, shifting with the seasons and the fortunes of the pride. Their roars, deep and resonant, ripple across the plains, both a warning to outsiders and a rallying call to the pride. Each roar is a declaration of dominance, a sonic boundary that echoes for miles. The sound is more than a threat. It is a message, a signal to every lion within earshot that the pride is strong, united, and ready to defend its own. Yet beneath this formidable exterior, true leadership is more nuanced. The Lionesses, agile and astute, are the architects of daily life. Their cooperation is the pride's heartbeat, their decisions shaping its destiny. Each female knows her place within the group, her role defined by age, experience, and the intricate web of relationships that bind the pride together. At the core are the matriarchs, wise, experienced females, often sisters or cousins, whose memories stretch back through seasons of abundance and hardship. Their authority is subtle, earned through years of survival and sacrifice. These matriarchs are the pride's living memory, their knowledge of the land and its rhythms guiding every decision, from the timing of hunts to the choice of resting places. These matriarchs orchestrate the hunt, reading the wind and the movement of prey with practiced eyes. They decide when to move, where to rest, and how to navigate the ever-changing landscape, ensuring the pride's safety and sustenance. Their leadership is not imposed but accepted, their wisdom trusted by all. In times of drought or danger, it is the elder lioness who leads the way to hidden waterholes or safe havens, her knowledge a lifeline for the entire pride. She remembers the secret places where water lingers long after the rivers have dried, and her leadership is quiet but absolute, respected by all. Below the matriarchs, younger females, daughters, nieces and cousins, observe and learn. Their apprenticeship is long, filled with lessons in patience, strategy, and the subtle cues that govern pride life. They watch the elders closely, mimicking their movements, absorbing the unspoken rules that will one day guide their own decisions. Through imitation and participation, these young lionesses gradually assume greater roles, from assisting in hunts to nurturing the pride's youngest members. Their bonds are strengthened by shared responsibility and mutual trust. Each act of cooperation, each moment of shared effort, weaves them more tightly into the fabric of the pride. Social harmony is maintained through ritualized grooming and gentle nuzzles, acts that reinforce alliances, soothe tensions, and reaffirm the unity of the group. Grooming is more than hygiene. It is a language of touch, a way to express affection, resolve disputes, and maintain the delicate balance of relationships. Disagreements, though inevitable, rarely escalate. Instead, they are resolved through a sophisticated language of posture and expression, a flick of the tail, averted gaze, or the silent flattening of ears. These signals prevent conflict, preserving the delicate balance of the pride. The ability to read and respond to these cues is essential, for in the close quarters of pride life, harmony is survival. Into this intricate hierarchy, cubs are born, tiny, vulnerable, and utterly dependent. Their arrival is met with collective care, as every lioness contributes to their protection and upbringing. The birth of cubs is a moment of renewal, a promise that the pride's legacy will endure. Play is their first lesson. Under the watchful eyes of mothers and aunts, cubs engage in mock battles and chases, developing the skills and instincts they will one day need to survive. Through play, they learn the boundaries of strength and submission, the meaning of cooperation and competition. The pride's unity is most evident in these moments. Lionesses nurse each other's young, shield them from danger, and teach them the unspoken rules of pride life. This communal care ensures that even the weakest have a chance to thrive, and that the bonds between females remain unbreakable. Cubs quickly learn their place in the hierarchy, waiting their turn at a kill, approaching elders with deference, and interpreting the moods of adults through observation and mimicry. Every interaction is a lesson. every moment an opportunity to understand the complex web of relationships that defines pride life. But the social order is never immune to change. The arrival of unfamiliar males sends ripples of tension through the pride as every member senses the possibility of upheaval. The air grows thick with anticipation, each lion attuned to the shifting dynamics that may soon alter their world. When a new coalition challenges the reigning males, the confrontation is dramatic and often violent. The outcome can reshape the pride's future, determining which genes are passed on and which stories end. The struggle is fierce, the stakes nothing less than survival and legacy. If the challengers prevail, they assume control, sometimes driving out or even killing the cubs of their predecessors. The pride must adapt, forging new bonds and re-establishing its hierarchy under unfamiliar leadership. The transition is fraught with uncertainty, but the pride's resilience is legendary. Through cycles of stability and disruption, the pride endures. Its strength lies not only in numbers or muscle, but in the intricate web of relationships, each member playing a role, each generation building on the legacy of those before. The pride is a living lineage, its story written in the tracks that crisscross the Savannah. In this world, survival is a collective achievement. Physical prowess and teamwork are essential, but so too are patience, memory, and the ability to navigate the shifting currents of pride politics. Every hunt, every rest, every decision is a testament to the power of unity and the wisdom of experience. To thrive, each lion must know its place, earn the trust of its kin, and contribute to the harmony of the group. This delicate balance of competition and cooperation, tradition and adaptation, has allowed the lion pride to flourish as one of nature's most enduring and awe-inspiring societies. Theirs is a world where every gesture matters, every relationship is vital, and the harmony of the group is the key to survival on the endless plains. In the golden light of dawn, the lion cubs emerge from the dense cover of the savannah, their small bodies shadowed by the vigilant presence of their mothers and aunts. Every movement is observed, every sound noted, as the adults maintain a silent but constant watch over the youngest members of the pride. The cubs' day begins with a burst of energy, tumbling, wrestling, and chasing each other across the dew-laden grass. These playful interactions are more than mere games. They are the foundation of the cubs' education, teaching them the subtle cues of body language, the boundaries of social hierarchy, and the first hints of cooperation. As the sun rises, the cubs' curiosity leads them to explore every corner of their territory. They sniff at unfamiliar scents, paw at insects, and stalk the fluttering shadows cast by birds overhead. Each new discovery is met with wide-eyed fascination, and every lesson is absorbed through experience. Playfighting is a constant theme. Cubs leap onto each other's backs, roll in the dust, and practice the art of the ambush. Their tiny roars and mock growls echo across the plain, a chorus of youthful exuberance that belies the seriousness of their training. These mock hunts are essential. With every pounce and chase, the cubs refine their coordination, balance, and timing. They learn to move silently through the grass, to freeze at the slightest sound, and to anticipate the movements of their siblings, skills that will one day mean the difference between life and death. Through these games, the cubs develop not only physical prowess, but also the beginnings of teamwork. They instinctively form small groups, working together to corner a sibling or outmaneuver a playmate, echoing the coordinated hunts of the adults. Each mock battle sharpens their reflexes and hones their instincts. The cubs learn to read subtle shifts in posture, to anticipate a feint, and to recover quickly from a tumble, preparing them for the unpredictable challenges of the wild. As the African sun climbs higher, the pride retreats to the shade of acacia trees. Here the cubs collapse in a tangle of limbs, their energy spent, their sides rising and falling with the deep breaths of contentment. In these quiet hours, the cubs engage in gentle social rituals. nuzzling, licking, and grooming each other. These acts are not only soothing, but also reinforce the bonds that hold the pride together, teaching the cubs the importance of unity and cooperation. Grooming is a lesson in empathy and care. The cubs mimic the adults, using their rough tongues to clean each other's fur, removing ticks and dirt and strengthening the ties of kinship. These moments of closeness are vital. They provide comfort, reduce anxiety, and create a sense of belonging that will anchor the cubs throughout their lives. The cubs' education continues as they observe the adults. Every gesture, every interaction is a lesson. How to greet a dominant male, how to approach a nursing mother, how to yield to authority without fear. With intense curiosity, the cubs watch the adults' every move. They study the way lionesses communicate with a flick of the tail or a low rumble, absorbing the silent language of the pride. When the lionesses rise and begin to move with purpose, the cubs instinctively follow, keeping a respectful distance. They sense the shift in mood, the tension that signals the start of a hunt. The cubs witness the silent coordination among the lionesses. Subtle glances, barely perceptible signals, and perfectly timed movements. These are the secrets of the hunt, passed down through generations. Though too young to join, the cubs watch from the safety of the shadows, their eyes wide as they absorb the strategies and tactics that will one day be their own. When the hunt is successful, the pride gathers around the kill. For the cubs, mealtime is a lesson in patience and hierarchy. The cubs must wait as the dominant males and matriarchs feed first. They watch, learning to recognize the subtle cues that dictate when it is safe to approach. This ritual teaches them respect for the social order and the importance of patience. Only when the adults are satisfied do the cubs move in, their hunger tempered by discipline. Even at the carcass, the cubs must be alert. One wrong move can earn a warning growl or a swat from an elder. These moments are critical for understanding their place within the pride. As the heat of the day fades and the sky glows with the colors of sunset, the pride stirs once more. The cubs, rested and refueled, are ready for another round of exploration. Evening brings renewed energy. The cubs chase each other through the tall grass, their movements swift and agile, their senses sharpened by the day's experiences. They practice stalking, sometimes pouncing on unsuspecting insects or rodents, testing the skills they have observed and imitated. These twilight sessions are a culmination of the day's lessons, a time to experiment, to fail, and to try again under the watchful gaze of the pride. Throughout it all, the cubs are never far from protection. The lionesses remain close, their vigilance unwavering. Should danger approach, a prowling hyena, a circling vulture, the lionesses respond instantly, placing themselves between threat and cub, their presence a living shield. Their guidance is gentle but firm, teaching the cubs caution without stifling their curiosity, and courage without recklessness. The bond between mother and cub is the heart of the pride. In moments of quiet, the cubs press close to their mothers, drawing comfort and strength from their warmth and steady heartbeat. Surrounded by the pride, the cubs are both protected and challenged, nurtured and disciplined, shaped by the collective wisdom of their family. Every day is a tapestry of learning, woven from moments of play, observation, and interaction. Each experience builds the foundation for the cubs' future roles as hunters, leaders, and caretakers of the pride. With each passing day, the cubs grow stronger, more confident, and more attuned to the rhythms of pride life. They are shaped by the challenges they face and the support they receive. Through these early lessons, the cubs are prepared for the complexities of adulthood, ensuring that the legacy of the pride endures, majestic, resilient, and ever adaptable to the wild heart of Africa. Beyond the warmth of social bonds and the security of the pride's territory, the daily existence of a lion pride is a constant negotiation with danger and uncertainty. Every sunrise brings a new set of challenges, and every sunset is a testament to their resilience. Lion families must remain perpetually alert, their senses finely tuned to the unpredictable threats that lurk in the wild. The savanna is a living tapestry of risk and opportunity, where survival is never guaranteed. The abundance of prey can shift with the seasons, and the presence of formidable rivals means that every meal is hard-won. The landscape itself is both a provider and a peril, shaping the fate of every creature that calls it home. Among the most persistent threats are other predators, whose cunning and persistence test the pride's defenses at every turn. Spotted hyenas, with their powerful jaws and relentless energy, are both competitors and opportunists. Their eerie calls echo across the plains, signaling their approach long before they are seen. Operating in large, coordinated clans, hyenas are notorious for probing the boundaries of lion territory, searching for any sign of weakness or distraction. They seize every opportunity to snatch a hard-earned kill or isolate a vulnerable cub, their tactics honed by generations of conflict. When these confrontations erupt, the tension is palpable. The air vibrates with growls and snarls, each side weighing the risks and rewards of escalation. Sometimes these standoffs explode into violence, claws and teeth flashing in the dust as each species fights for dominance and survival. The outcome of these battles is determined by numbers, courage, and the ability to read the intentions of the enemy. A single miscalculation can mean the loss of a meal or a life. For the pride, unity is their greatest shield. Lionesses form a living barrier around their cubs, their bodies tense and ready to defend at any cost. Often the collective strength of the pride forces rivals to retreat, but not without scars, both physical and psychological. Wounds from these encounters can linger, slowing a lion's stride or dulling its senses, making future hunts more perilous. Other predators, like leopards and wild dogs, pose subtler but equally deadly threats. Their presence is a constant reminder that danger can come from any direction. Leopards, masters of stealth, may slip through the grass unseen, snatching an unwatched cub and vanishing before the pride can react. Wild dogs, with their relentless pack tactics and tireless stamina, can harass and exhaust even the most vigilant pride, exploiting any moment of weakness. The lioness's vigilance is unceasing. Their eyes scan the horizon, their ears twitch at every sound, always ready to respond to the slightest hint of danger. Every shadow, every rustle in the grass could signal the approach of a rival or the movement of prey. The margin for error is razor-thin. Survival demands instant decisions whether to fight, flee, or freeze, each choice carrying consequences for the entire pride. Yet, not all threats are visible. The greatest dangers often come silently, hidden in the shifting winds or the changing seasons. The environment itself can become an adversary. Droughts parch the land, turning lush grasslands into barren wastelands where every step is a search for water. As the dry season deepens, prey animals vanish into the distance, and the pride must travel farther and risk more to find food. Herds of wildebeest and zebra migrate beyond the pride's reach, leaving only the hardiest or most desperate animals behind. Waterholes shrink, drawing together predators and prey in tense, uneasy gatherings where competition is fierce and tempers run high. In these harsh times, the pride's cohesion is tested. Hunger gnaws at their bellies, and the bonds of kinship are all that stand between survival and starvation. Driven by desperation, lions may scavenge from hyena kills or attempt to bring down dangerous prey, risking injury for a chance at sustenance. Sometimes they are forced to trespass into unfamiliar territories, where unknown dangers and rival prides await. When the rains finally come, they bring their own set of hazards. Flood waters can transform the landscape overnight, isolating members of the pride and scattering prey. Rivers swell and overflow, cutting off familiar paths and stranding lions on shrinking islands of safety. The pride must adapt quickly, crossing treacherous waters or following the great herds as they migrate to new grazing grounds. For the youngest cubs, these journeys are especially perilous. Swift currents and exhaustion can separate them from the pride, and only the most determined survive. Disease, too, stalks the pride in silence. Invisible pathogens can sweep through the group, weakening even the strongest lions. Outbreaks of illnesses such as canine distemper or bovine tuberculosis can decimate a pride, spreading rapidly in the close quarters of their social structure. The sick and the weak may fall behind, unable to keep pace with the demands of daily life in the wild. In these moments, the pride's survival depends on the strength and resilience of its healthiest members, who must lead and protect the group through adversity. Despite the relentless onslaught of challenges, predators, hunger, drought, flood, and disease, the lion pride endures, moving forward with determination and unity. Their adaptability, intricate social structure, and the wisdom passed from one generation to the next equip them to face whatever the wild may bring. Each trial, whether from a rival predator, the unforgiving climate, or the invisible threat of disease, shapes the pride, forging a legacy of strength and resilience. In the heart of the Savannah, the lion pride stands as a symbol of survival against all odds, a testament to the enduring power of unity and adaptation in the wild. In the intricate tapestry of pride life, it is the lionesses who form its most resilient and essential threads, woven together by generations of instinct, experience, and kinship. Their presence is the heartbeat of the pride, pulsing with energy, vigilance, and purpose. As both formidable hunters and nurturing mothers, lionesses embody a duality that is vital to the pride's survival. Their days are a seamless blend of relentless pursuit and gentle care, shaping not only the fate of their kin, but the very spirit of the group. While the image of a roaring male lion may capture the imagination, it is the lionesses who shoulder the daily burdens, tracking prey, raising cubs, and forging the bonds that hold the pride together. Their triumphs and sacrifices are the foundation upon which the pride's future rests. During the hunt, lionesses reveal a masterful blend of stealth, strategy, and silent communication. Each movement is calculated, every step a testament to their finely tuned instincts and years of learned expertise. Moving as a coordinated unit, they fan out across the savanna, using the tall grasses as both camouflage and cover. Their bodies flow through the landscape, nearly invisible to the untrained eye as they close in on their quarry. The most experienced lioness often leads the approach, her knowledge guiding the pride's every maneuver. She reads the wind, senses the tension in the air, and signals when to advance or hold back. Younger females and sub-adults flank the sides, learning from their elders, while contributing their own agility and enthusiasm. Each lioness has a role, and the success of the hunt depends on their flawless cooperation. Their tactics are honed by years of observation and inherited wisdom, passed down through generations in a living legacy of survival. Silent signals, subtle tail flicks, a glance, a shift in posture, coordinate their movements with astonishing precision. In these moments, words are unnecessary. Trust and understanding flow between them. When the moment is right, the pride surges forward in near-perfect synchrony. Their explosive power and teamwork overwhelm even the most vigilant prey, securing a meal for the pride. This cooperation is not merely instinctual, it is shaped by deep social bonds and the unique personalities of each lioness. Through shared experiences, they learn to anticipate one another's decisions, forging a unity that is both practical and profound. Each lioness hones her skills by watching her sisters, learning the subtle cues that signal when to act and when to wait. This silent education is ongoing, ensuring that every member of the pride is prepared for the challenges ahead. Yet the lioness's responsibilities extend far beyond the hunt. Within the heart of the pride, they are vigilant guardians and nurturing caregivers, ever watchful for danger and ever attentive to the needs of the young. Their vigilance is constant. At the slightest hint of threat, lionesses position themselves between danger and their cubs, ready to defend with ferocity unmatched in the animal kingdom. After a successful hunt, It is the lionesses who ensure the cubs are fed first, carefully rationing the spoils and guiding the youngest to the choicest morsels. Their discipline and fairness help maintain harmony within the pride. The lioness's guidance is gentle but firm, teaching the cubs not only how to eat, but also how to wait their turn and respect the hierarchy that keeps the pride strong. The nurturing instinct runs deep. Lionesses will often nurse not only their own offspring but also those of their sisters, ensuring that no cub is left behind. This practice, known as allosuckling, is a remarkable adaptation. It strengthens the pride's unity and boosts the survival odds of every cub, regardless of its mother's fate. Through communal care, the pride weaves a safety net for its youngest members, ensuring that the next generation is given every possible chance to thrive. Life for a lioness is a constant balancing act, providing for the pride while protecting its future. Every decision is weighed against the needs of the group and the dangers of the wild. At times, this means fierce defense against intruders or rival predators, as lionesses band together to repel any threat that dares approach their territory. Their courage is unwavering, and their unity in the face of danger is a testament to the strength of their bonds. At other times, their role is one of gentle guidance, teaching cubs to stalk, pounce, and interpret the subtle cues of the savanna. Through play and patient instruction, lionesses lay the groundwork for the skills their cubs will one day need to survive on their own. When danger looms, lionesses form a living shield around their young, standing shoulder to shoulder in silent defiance, each one ready to risk her life for the pride's future. Their unity in these moments is absolute, a wall of muscle and resolve that few adversaries dare challenge. At dawn, the savanna comes alive with the playful energy of cubs, guided by their mothers in games that are both joyful and instructive. Every leap, chase, and tumble is a lesson in survival. These moments of play are essential, forging the physical and mental skills that will one day define the next generation of hunters and leaders. The lioness's legacy is written daily in the grasslands, in the silent stalk, the shared meal, the comforting touch, and the unyielding courage that defines their every action. Through hardship and triumph, they remain the pride's providers, protectors, and teachers, ensuring that each new generation is prepared to meet the challenges of the wild. Their strength and devotion are the living story of the pride, echoing across the savanna in every hunt, every lesson, and every act of care. Through their tireless efforts, the pride endures generation after generation, adapting, surviving, and thriving in one of the world's most challenging landscapes. The lioness's story is one of resilience, wisdom, and unwavering commitment, a legacy that shapes the destiny of the pride and the future of the savanna itself. As the sun sets over the grasslands, their silhouettes stand as a testament to the enduring power of unity, devotion, and the unbreakable spirit of the lioness. Across the vast, ever-shifting tapestry of the African savanna, lion prides are not simply residents. They are architects of their own destinies, constantly adapting to the unpredictable rhythms of the wild. Their existence is a delicate balance between tradition and necessity, shaped by the invisible lines they draw and redraw across the landscape. Unlike the spectacular, sweeping migrations of wildebeest or zebra, lions do not move en masse across continents. Instead, their movements are subtle, strategic, and deeply intertwined with the pulse of their environment. The boundaries of a pride's territory are not fixed. They ebb and flow, expanding and contracting in response to the shifting abundance of prey, the encroachment of rivals, and the relentless march of the seasons. Migration for lions is a gradual process, unfolding over weeks or even months. As the rains return and the grasslands flourish, prey animals gather in great numbers, drawing prides to the heart of their territories. Lionesses, ever vigilant, adjust their hunting routes to follow the shifting patterns of antelope, buffalo, and zebra, while males reinforce the pride's claim with scent and sound. A pride's territory is not merely a patch of land, but a living, breathing domain. its boundaries marked by invisible trails, ancient trees, and the memory of generations. Each day, the Pride's members patrol the edges of their range, leaving scent marks on bushes and tufts of grass, roaring into the dawn to warn rivals and reunite scattered members. These rituals are more than displays of power. They are acts of survival, reinforcing the Pride's presence and deterring would-be challengers. During times of plenty, when waterholes brim and prey, herds linger, Prides may remain anchored to familiar grounds. Their home range, often spanning dozens of square kilometers, becomes a sanctuary, a place where cubs can play and grow under the watchful eyes of their mothers, and where the Pride's legacy is written in the dust and grass. But the Savannah is a land of extremes. As the dry season tightens its grip, waterholes shrink and prey herds begin their own migrations, leaving behind a landscape of scarcity. The Pride must adapt or face starvation, their survival hinging on their ability to read the subtle signs of change, distant alarm calls, fading scents, the restless movement of herds. Territory expansion often begins at the margins, where the familiar gives way to the unknown. Lionesses, with their keen senses and intimate knowledge of the land, lead exploratory forays into neighboring grasslands or woodlands. They move cautiously, alert to every sound and scent, testing the boundaries of rival prides and searching for signs of opportunity. A hidden waterhole, a cluster of grazing antelope, a gap in a rival's patrol. These advances are calculated and deliberate. Lionesses weigh the risks of confrontation against the promise of new hunting grounds, their decisions shaped by experience and the ever-present threat of nomadic males or neighboring prides. If the new area proves rich in resources and lightly contested, the pride gradually shifts its core activities, hunting, resting, raising cubs, into this fresh territory. Scent marking and roaring become more frequent, announcing their claim to all who pass. Yet expansion is rarely uncontested. Clashes at territorial boundaries are fierce and frequent. Roaring duels echo across the plains, and brief, violent encounters erupt as prides defend their hard-won ground. The outcome of these battles can reshape the map of the Savannah, with victors absorbing new land and the defeated forced to retreat. Victorious prides may absorb portions of a rival's range, expanding their influence and securing vital resources. Defeated groups, meanwhile, are pushed into marginal lands, their territory shrinking until they find safer ground or are forced to disperse. Over years, these shifts create a mosaic of overlapping and ever-evolving territories. The landscape becomes a patchwork of pride domains, each shaped by the fortunes and failures of its inhabitants and by the relentless forces of nature. For young males, the journey is even more perilous. Upon reaching maturity, they are driven out by the resident males, forced to wander as nomads. These coalitions of young males roam vast distances, skirting the edges of established territories, always searching for a weakness, a moment when they can challenge for dominance and claim a territory of their own. Their journey is one of patience and persistence. They scan the horizon for signs of vulnerability, an aging coalition, a pride weakened by drought or disease, a gap left by a recent conflict. When the opportunity arises, these nomads launch their challenge. The ensuing battles are fierce, and the victors not only seize leadership, but often expand the pride's territory, reshaping the social and geographic landscape of the Savannah. The environment itself is a powerful force in this ongoing drama. Rainfall, drought, bushfires, and disease can all alter the balance of power. A sudden drought may force prides to split, with subgroups establishing new territories miles away, while a bushfire can drive multiple prides into temporary alliances as they seek refuge and resources. The pride's survival depends on its ability to interpret the subtlest signals, shifting prey trails, the distant alarm calls of herds, the faint scent of a new rival carried on the wind. Each decision, each movement, is a response to the ever-changing conditions of the wild. In this constant dance of boundaries and belonging, lion prides remain attuned to the pulse of the Savannah, their fate intertwined with the land itself. Their migrations are measured not in epic journeys, but in careful steps, each one a testament to their resilience, their adaptability, and their unyielding drive to survive. Through these shifting boundaries, the legacy of the pride endures, etched in paw prints across the endless grasslands, a living story written in the dust and wind of the African wild. In the heart of the African Savannah, where the golden grass ripples beneath the sun and every shadow may conceal a threat or an opportunity, the lion pride thrives not through brute strength alone, but through a sophisticated and nuanced system of communication. This invisible network, woven from sound, scent, and subtle gesture, forms the very backbone of pride society, ensuring that each member, from the youngest cub to the most battle-scarred male, is connected to the whole. Every interaction, every touch, every sound is laden with meaning. When lions nuzzle or rub heads, it is not merely affection, it is a reaffirmation of trust, a silent pact that binds the pride together against the uncertainties of the wild. In this vast, open landscape, where the horizon stretches endlessly and the wind carries both promise and peril, the ability to share information swiftly and accurately is essential for survival. Lions remain ever vigilant, their senses attuned to the faintest cues from their companions. A single glance, a shift in posture can alert the entire pride to the presence of prey or the approach of danger. Among the most iconic elements of their communication is the lion's roar, a sound that reverberates across the plains, powerful enough to be heard up to 5 miles away. This thunderous call is not simply a display of dominance. It is a multifaceted message, a declaration of territory, a warning to rivals, and a beacon for pride members scattered by the demands of the hunt or the chaos of a chase. Each roar is unique, carrying the signature of the individual lion, its age, its strength, its intent, allowing others to recognize friend from foe, kin from stranger. When rival males approach the boundaries of a pride's domain, the roar becomes a line drawn in the sand, a challenge and a warning that echoes through the dusk. For pride members separated by distance, a familiar roar is a lifeline, guiding them back to safety and the warmth of the group. But the roar is only the beginning. Lions possess a rich and varied vocal repertoire, grunts, moans, growls, huffs, each tailored to a specific context, each conveying a distinct message. A low grunt may signal reassurance, a deep growl may warn of irritation, while a series of huffs can express curiosity or mild alarm. These sounds, often exchanged at close quarters, help maintain order and harmony within the pride. When two prides encounter one another, vocalizations become a tool for assessment, each group weighing the strength and resolve of the other before deciding whether to advance or retreat. The subtleties of these exchanges are understood instinctively, honed by generations of survival in a world where misunderstanding can mean death. Beyond sound, the language of lions is written in the lines of their bodies and the flicker of their eyes. A lion's posture, whether relaxed or tense, upright or crouched, broadcasts its intentions to those around it. Cubs learn to read these signals from their earliest days, responding to the subtle cues of their elders with instinctive precision. Much of the pride's dialogue unfolds in silence. A slow, deliberate head rub is both greeting and reassurance, while a gentle touch of the paw can calm nerves or invite play. When tension rises, the signals become unmistakable. Ears flatten, eyes narrow, tails lash, a silent warning to keep distance and respect boundaries. Every movement, every pause is a message, understood by all who share the pride's world. Affection is expressed through touch. Rubbing heads, grooming, and gentle nuzzles reinforce the bonds that hold the pride together. These tactile exchanges are more than comfort. They are the glue of social cohesion, a daily ritual that maintains peace and unity. Even the lightest touch can speak volumes, signaling trust, reassurance, or a gentle reminder of rank. When boundaries are tested, body language becomes a shield. Flattened ears, narrowed eyes, and a lashing tail warn of rising aggression. These signals prevent conflict from escalating, allowing the pride to resolve disputes without violence. Among cubs, play is a language all its own. Through mock battles, crouches, and pounces, young lions learn not only the skills of the hunt, but also the intricate etiquette of pride life. These playful lessons are essential, teaching the next generation how to read and respond to the signals that govern pride society. Scent is the pride's silent signature, an invisible message left upon the land. By rubbing against trees, bushes, and the earth itself, lions deposit their unique scent, marking the boundaries of their territory. Both males and females participate in this ritual, using specialized glands and sprays of urine to leave a message that lingers long after they have passed. These scent marks communicate ownership, reproductive status, and the vigilance of the pride to any intruder who dares to cross the line. The boundaries of a pride's domain are thus drawn not with fences but with invisible trails of scent, renewed and reinforced with every patrol. As lions move along these borders, they read the messages left by others, gauging the strength and intentions of their neighbors. Even a single paw print pressed into the dust can carry a trace of scent, a cryptic note for any lion who follows. Investigating these subtle clues, lions piece together the recent history of their territory, learning who has passed and what intentions they may have carried. Within the pride, communication is a constant, layered exchange, a living dialogue that adapts to every situation. Before a hunt, lionesses coordinate with the barest flicker of an eye or a subtle shift in position, aligning their movements with silent precision. These unspoken cues allow the pride to move as one, each member anticipating the actions of the others. The result is a seamless, synchronized approach, an unspoken script that unfolds with breathtaking efficiency. Mothers call to their cubs with gentle chuffs and murmurs, sounds so soft they barely rise above the whisper of the grass. These tender vocalizations soothe, summon, and reassure, guiding the young through the complexities of pride life. When danger threatens, whether from rival lions, prowling hyenas, or the sudden approach of an unfamiliar presence, the pride's communication shifts instantly. A chorus of low growls, bristling fur, and defensive stances signals the need for unity, transforming the pride into a single, formidable force. In these moments, every lion knows its place, every signal is understood, and the pride stands as one against the threat. From birth, cubs absorb this language, learning through observation and imitation, their understanding deepening with each passing day. Through daily interactions and the ever-present challenges of the wild, the pride's communication evolves, adapting to new circumstances and threats. This living code is never static. It shifts with the seasons, the landscape, and the needs of the pride. Through roars that echo across the plains, through the brush of fur and the invisible trails of scent, lions share their intentions, their warnings, and their loyalty. Each gesture, each sound, each scent mark is a thread in the intricate web that holds the pride together. As they move across the Savannah, these silent messages ensure that every lion knows its place, its purpose, and its kin. Whatever the Savannah brings, be it bounty or hardship, the pride remains united, one voice, many hearts, bound by the language of the wild. As the sun sets and the shadows lengthen, the pride's story continues, written not in words but in the living, breathing language of lions. Across the vast African savanna, the daily existence of a lion pride is intricately woven into the fabric of the land and sky. While the sun's relentless arc marks the passage of time, it is the subtle and dramatic shifts in climate that truly dictate the rhythm of lion life. Each season brings its own set of challenges and opportunities, shaping the pride's behavior in profound and often unpredictable ways. The climate, whether it brings searing drought or nourishing rains, acts as both sculptor and judge, demanding constant adaptation from these apex predators. The pride's survival hinges on their ability to anticipate the land's moods, to read the subtle cues in the wind, the soil, and the movement of prey. Every decision, from where to rest to when to hunt, is influenced by the ever-changing pulse of the seasons. As the dry season tightens its grip, the landscape is transformed. Rivers that once flowed with life recede to isolated pools, their muddy banks crowded with desperate animals. The air grows heavy with dust, and the grasses, once lush and green, fade to brittle gold, crunching underfoot as the pride moves silently through the dawn. Prey animals driven by thirst gather in uneasy truce at the last remaining waterholes. Buffalo, antelope, and zebra stand shoulder to shoulder, their senses sharpened by hunger and the ever-present threat of predators. For the pride, this congregation is both a blessing and a curse. The abundance of prey offers opportunity, but the competition is fierce. Not only from rival prides, but from hyenas, leopards, and even crocodiles lurking in the shrinking pools. Hunts become more frequent and more urgent. Lionesses, the pride's primary hunters, must lead bold ambushes in the open, often under the harsh glare of the midday sun. The cover of darkness offers little advantage when prey is concentrated and wary. Each hunt is a test of patience, coordination, and nerve. Failure means hunger, and hunger breeds tension within the pride. Male lions, meanwhile, are tasked with defending the pride's territory, a task made more difficult as boundaries blur and rivals are drawn to the same precious resources. Their roars carry farther in the dry air, a warning and a challenge to any who would encroach. Confrontations are inevitable, and the threat of injury or displacement looms over every encounter. Even within the pride, the strain of scarcity can test the strongest bonds, as each member vies for their share of a hard-won meal. Then, with the arrival of the rains, the Savannah is reborn. Thunderheads gather on the horizon, and the first drops fall, transforming the earth almost overnight. Grasses surge skyward in a vibrant green carpet, and the air is filled with the scent of new life. The pride's world expands, and with it, their prospects. Great herds of wildebeest and zebra sweep across the plains in vast migrations, following the promise of fresh grazing. The pride must be mobile, sometimes traveling for days to intercept these moving feasts. Cubs born during the lean months now revel in abundance, chasing each other through the grass, their bellies full and their spirits high. Social bonds are renewed through grooming and play, and the pride's cohesion is at its strongest. Cooperative hunting becomes the norm, with lionesses working in perfect synchrony to bring down larger prey. The pride's success is measured not just in meals, but in the survival and growth of its youngest members. With food plentiful, lionesses invest more time in nurturing their cubs, teaching them the skills they will need to survive the next cycle of scarcity. Playful interactions strengthen family ties and prepare the next generation for the challenges ahead. Yet the rains are not without peril. Rivers swell and flood, cutting through the Savannah, and sometimes isolating members of the pride. Dense vegetation offers concealment but also hides dangers. Crocodiles, snakes, and disease-carrying insects thrive in the humid air. Lionesses must be ever vigilant, coordinating their movements to avoid separation and to shield their cubs from both predators and the elements. Disease can sweep through the pride, claiming the weakest and testing the resilience of all. Year to year, the climate's unpredictability forces the pride to adapt. In times of prolonged drought, lions may be compelled to travel far beyond their usual range, risking encounters with rival prides and dangerous prey. Hunts become riskier, targeting larger animals like buffalo or giraffe, where the stakes and the rewards are higher. Occasionally, necessity breeds unlikely alliances. Prides may tolerate each other's presence at a kill or form temporary truces to bring down formidable prey. In years of plenty, selectivity returns, and the pride can afford to focus on the healthiest, most nourishing animals, ensuring the well-being of every member. During these times, Energy is devoted to raising cubs, strengthening social bonds, and reinforcing the pride's legacy. The next generation is nurtured in safety, learning the lessons of survival from their elders. The true secret of the lion's reign lies in their ability to read the land and adapt to its ever-changing moods. Each pride, shaped by generations of hard-won experience, learns to anticipate the shifting winds, the coming storms, and the silent approach of drought. Through hardship and abundance, the pride endures, its survival a living testament to the delicate balance between predator, prey, and the wild, unpredictable heart of Africa. Beneath the vast, ever-changing African sky, the saga of each lion, pride unfolds, a living epic inscribed not in words, but in the silent language of survival, kinship, and the relentless passage of time. Every pride is a lineage, its story stretching back through countless generations, shaped by the land, the seasons, and the unyielding demands of the wild. At the core of this enduring tale lies the legacy of leadership, a cycle as ancient as the Savannah itself, where each generation must carve its place through courage, cunning, and the bonds that tie the pride together. Leadership within a lion pride is not a birthright, but a mantle earned through relentless trials. The dominant male must prove himself, not only through raw strength, but through the wisdom to navigate shifting alliances, the patience to maintain order, and the instinct to protect his kin from threats both seen and unseen. For the reigning male, authority is a double-edged sword, a privilege that brings with it the constant weight of responsibility. His presence is both a shield and a warning, a living testament to the power required to hold a family together in a world where danger is never far away. Each day he must defend the pride's territory from rival coalitions, his thunderous roars echoing across the plains as both a declaration and a deterrent. He stands sentinel over the cubs, ever watchful for the approach of intruders, and his vigilance is the pride's first line of defense. Yet even the mightiest reign is fleeting. As the seasons turn, the dominant male's strength wanes, and the inevitability of change looms on the horizon. The shifting winds of the Savannah bring with them the promise of new beginnings. Young males, once playful cubs beneath their father's watchful gaze, grow restless as they approach maturity, their instincts urging them toward independence. Compelled by forces older than memory, these young males embark on a perilous journey into exile. Alone or in small coalitions, they traverse the unforgiving grasslands, learning the harsh lessons of survival as nomads, far from the safety of their birth pride. For some, the journey leads them back to familiar territory or into confrontation with other coalitions. The challenge is unmistakable: to test the resolve and strength of the reigning leader, to stake their claim in the unending contest for dominance. These battles for succession are brutal and decisive. The clash of powerful bodies, the roar of combat, and the dust rising from the earth mark the turning points in the pride's history. Moments when the future hangs in the balance. When new males seize control, the pride is reshaped. The victors assert their dominance, sometimes at a tragic cost to the cubs sired by their predecessors, ensuring that only their lineage will endure. This harsh reality is nature's way of refining the pride's bloodline, favoring the most resilient and adaptable genes, and driving the evolution of the species with every generation. Yet, the Lionesses are the true heart of the pride. Their loyalty, cooperation, and collective memory form the foundation upon which every generation is built. Through seamless teamwork, they hunt, nurture, and defend the young. Their bonds, forged through years of shared hardship and triumph, anchor the pride through even the most turbulent transitions. The oldest females, repositories of wisdom and experience, guide the pride through uncertainty. They teach the young to stalk and hunt, to read the subtle cues of the Savannah, and to respect the intricate social order that ensures the pride's survival. For the cubs, each shift in leadership is a lesson written in instinct and observation. They watch, wide-eyed, as the adults navigate the rituals of dominance and deference, absorbing the unwritten rules that will one day shape their own destinies. Through mimicry and play, the young lions rehearse the roles they will one day assume, testing boundaries, learning to cooperate, and discovering the delicate balance between competition and unity. In time, these lessons will shape the next generation of leaders and loyal Pride members, each carrying forward the legacy of those who came before. Through every succession, the Pride adapts, endures, and renews itself, its unity tested, its bonds reforged, its future secured by the strength and wisdom of its members. The legacy of the Lions is not a single tale, but a continuum, a living chain, each link forged by the trials and triumphs of those who came before, each leader leaving an indelible mark upon the land. In the silent wisdom of an old lion's gaze, in the exuberant play of a cub beneath the golden sun, the unbroken heritage of the Pride endures, majestic, resilient, and forever entwined with the wild, untamed heart of Africa. Beneath the surface of every Lion Pride story, a deeper, invisible narrative unfolds. A tale written in DNA, passed silently from one generation to the next. The genetics of a dominant Lion Pride are the blueprint of survival, shaping not only appearance and strength, but also the instincts and behaviors that define these apex predators. At the heart of a pride's genetic legacy lies the complex web of inheritance. The dominant males, often brothers or closely related, form coalitions that secure and defend their territory. Their shared genes increase the likelihood that their offspring will inherit the physical prowess, resilience, and cooperative instincts crucial for pride survival. Each cub born into the pride carries a unique combination of traits, some visible in their golden coats and powerful limbs, others hidden deep within their cells, waiting to influence future generations. The Lionesses, too, are pillars of genetic continuity. Unlike males who may come and go, the females remain rooted in their natal pride for life. This matrilineal stability weaves a tapestry of kinship that strengthens the pride's unity and ensures the preservation of successful bloodlines. Over decades, the genetic traits honed by the Lionesses, keen senses, hunting expertise, and social intelligence, are passed down, fortifying the pride with each new generation. Genetic diversity is the pride's shield against the ever-present threats of disease, drought, and famine. When young males leave their birth pride and join distant coalitions, they bring fresh genetic material to new territories. This exchange is vital, preventing inbreeding and introducing new strengths that help the pride adapt to changing conditions. The arrival of unrelated males sparks a renewal, mixing bloodlines and enhancing the pride's ability to thrive. Every battle for dominance, every coalition formed, and every cub raised is a chapter in the ongoing saga of natural selection. The genes of the most successful lions, those who defend their territory, nurture their young, and adapt to the shifting rhythms of the wild, are etched into the lineage of the pride. Over time, these inherited traits become the foundation of the pride's resilience, ensuring that only the fittest, most adaptable lions will shape the future. In the silent language of genetics, the story of the lions endures, an unbroken chain of life, strength, and survival, echoing through the generations beneath the endless African sky. Across the sprawling savannas and wooded plains, the landscape that lion prides call home is constantly evolving. These environmental changes, driven by shifting climates, seasonal rainfall, and the encroachment of human development, reshape every facet of lion life, from their hunting grounds to the very bonds that hold a pride together. As rainfall patterns fluctuate, once lush grasslands may wither, forcing herds of prey animals to migrate in search of food and water. For lion prides, this means expanding their territories and sometimes traveling greater distances to track the movements of wildebeest, zebras, and antelope. The scarcity of prey can intensify competition between neighboring prides, leading to more frequent and sometimes brutal territorial disputes. Water sources, once reliable gathering places, grow unpredictable. Some seasons bring drought, shrinking rivers to muddy trickles and transforming watering holes into battlegrounds. Lionesses, the pride's primary hunters, must adapt their strategies, stalking prey across unfamiliar terrain and teaching their cubs new survival skills. The cubs, in turn, learn early that survival depends on flexibility and on the ability to read the ever-changing landscape. Environmental pressures also influence the social dynamics within the pride. During lean times, the strength of the pride's hierarchy is tested. Older or weaker members may struggle, while the dominant lions must make difficult choices to ensure the survival of their kin. The bonds between lionesses are put to the test as they pool their efforts, sharing the challenges of hunting and caring for the young. In recent years, the encroachment of agriculture and settlements at the edges of protected areas has further complicated the picture. As natural habitats shrink, prides are sometimes forced into closer proximity, increasing the risk of conflict and the spread of disease. Yet, even as challenges mount, the resilience of lion prides is evident in their ability to adapt, altering their territories, modifying their hunting patterns, and forging new alliances. The story of the lion pride is one of continuous adaptation, written in the shifting sands and changing skies of Africa. Environmental changes, both subtle and dramatic, are catalysts that shape every aspect of pride life. In the face of a transforming world, it is the lion's remarkable ability to adjust, endure, and evolve that ensures their saga continues, undaunted beneath the ever-watchful African sun. Across the open expanse of the Savannah, the thunder of heavy paws signals more than the approach of a single lion. It marks the arrival of a coalition. Unlike the solitary kings often depicted in legend, real power in the lion world is forged through brotherhood. Male coalitions, typically made up of brothers or close relatives, are a formidable force, shaping the fate of prides and the boundaries of their domains. From the moment they leave their birth pride, young males face a perilous journey. Alone, their chances of survival are slim, but when brothers or allies band together, their combined strength, strategy, and determination transform them into apex defenders and conquerors. Each coalition member brings his own unique skills. One may be the swiftest runner, another the fiercest fighter, and yet another the most cunning tactician. Together they operate with an unspoken understanding, working in concert to patrol, defend, and expand their territory. The presence of a coalition dramatically alters the balance of power on the plains. With their imposing size and united front, coalitions can repel rival males, deter opportunistic predators, and safeguard the pride's vulnerable cubs. They take turns on night patrols, their roars echoing across the grasslands as both a warning and a declaration of dominance. When conflict arises, coalitions move with precision, flanking intruders, launching coordinated attacks, and using their numbers to overwhelm even the boldest challengers. But their ambitions extend beyond defense. Coalitions are the architects of expansion. By systematically pushing the boundaries of their realm, they secure new hunting grounds and resources for their pride. This territorial growth not only ensures the pride's survival, but also increases the coalition's own legacy, as their genes are passed on through generations of cubs. The success of a coalition often determines which bloodlines thrive and which fade into the annals of lion history. Yet the bond within a coalition is not merely practical, it is deeply social. Males groom one another, reinforce alliances with gentle nuzzles, and rest side by side after a night's patrol. In moments of crisis, this unity is their greatest asset, allowing them to recover from defeat and regroup for future challenges. The saga of the lion pride is inseparable from the story of its defenders. Through coalition, male lions transform from vulnerable wanderers into the steadfast guardians and ambitious conquerors of the Savannah. In every roar, every boundary pushed, and every cub protected, The strength of brotherhood is written into the very fabric of the wild. Across the golden plains and tangled woodlands of Africa, lions reign as apex predators, but they do not rule alone. The savanna is a tapestry of competition and coexistence, where every pride must navigate a landscape shared with formidable rivals. Hyenas, leopards, cheetahs, and wild dogs each carve out their own niche, and their interactions with lions shape the delicate balance of the ecosystem. Hyenas, perhaps the most notorious of the lion's adversaries, are both competitors and opportunists. Their clans are organized, intelligent, and bold, often challenging lions for access to kills. When numbers are on their side, hyenas may harass a pride, attempting to steal a fresh carcass or force the lions to abandon their meal. In these tense standoffs, the outcome depends on courage, numbers, and the willingness to risk injury. Yet the rivalry is not always one-sided. Lions have been known to raid hyena dens, targeting vulnerable cubs and weakening their competition. Leopards, on the other hand, are masters of stealth and solitude. To avoid deadly confrontations, they rely on secrecy, hoisting their kills high into the branches of trees beyond the lion's reach. If a lion stumbles upon a leopard's prize, the larger cat will almost always claim it, forcing the leopard to retreat and wait for another opportunity. Cheetahs, built for speed and not for strength, are particularly vulnerable. When lions appear, cheetahs abandon their hard-earned kills rather than risk a deadly conflict. Lionesses, ever alert to the needs of their pride, use their size and numbers to dominate open spaces, leaving cheetahs to hunt in the margins. Swift, elusive, and always wary. African wild dogs, with their relentless stamina and coordinated hunts, pose a different kind of challenge. While direct confrontations are rare, both species compete for similar prey. When paths cross, wild dogs give wide berth to lions, knowing that even a single lion can be a lethal threat to their pack. Yet in the aftermath of a hunt, lions may appear to scavenge, using their sheer presence to claim the spoils. Beyond these well-known rivals, even crocodiles and scavenging birds play a role in the complex web of competition. At river crossings, lions must contend with the sudden violence of crocodile attacks, while vultures circle overhead ready to descend upon the remains of any hunt. These relationships are not defined solely by conflict. The presence of multiple predators maintains the health of the savanna, ensuring that no single species dominates and that prey populations remain balanced. Through rivalry, avoidance, and occasional uneasy truces, lions and their fellow predators weave a story of survival and adaptation, a story as ancient as the grasslands themselves. In the end, the lion's legacy is written not just through conquest but through coexistence. Their world is shaped as much by their rivals as by their own strength, each encounter leaving its mark on the ever-shifting life of the savanna. Over countless generations, the hunting strategies of lion prides have been shaped by both necessity and innovation. Far from static, these tactics have evolved in response to changing prey populations, shifting landscapes, and the relentless pressure of competition. The lions of today are the inheritors of a rich legacy, each generation refining the methods passed down through the pride. In the earliest days of lion society, hunting was a matter of brute force and opportunity. Early prides relied on ambushes near waterholes or dense thickets, where concealment gave them an edge. But as prey species grew more vigilant and the savanna's terrain transformed, lions began to develop more sophisticated techniques, methods honed by observation, experience, and cooperation. Lionesses, the primary hunters, became masters of silent communication and synchronized movement. Generation after generation, the pride's success depended on their ability to read the subtle cues of their environment and each other. The classic encircling maneuver, where lionesses fan out in a crescent to drive prey toward waiting ambushers, is the result of centuries of trial and error. This strategy minimizes risk and maximizes the chance of a successful kill, especially when targeting large, dangerous animals such as buffalo or wildebeest. As new threats emerged, faster prey, shifting migration patterns, and the encroachment of rival predators, prides adapted further. Some learned to hunt under the cover of darkness, capitalizing on the lion's superior night vision. Others exploited seasonal changes, targeting weakened or isolated animals during droughts or after heavy rains. In regions where prey became scarce, prides split into smaller units, increasing their range and flexibility. Young lions, observing and participating in hunts from an early age, inherit not only the instincts of their ancestors, but also the hard-earned wisdom of their elders. Each hunt becomes a lesson, each failure a step toward mastery. Over time, prides develop their own unique hunting cultures, subtle variations in tactics that can be traced through generations, from mother to daughter, aunt to niece. The evolution of hunting strategies in lion prides is a testament to their intelligence, resilience, and adaptability. It is a living tradition shaped by the challenges of the wild and the ever-changing rhythms of the savanna. Through innovation and inheritance, the lion's approach to the hunt continues to evolve, ensuring their place at the top of the food chain, now and for generations to come. Beneath the golden grasses and dappled shade of the savanna, a quieter drama unfolds, one that is as perilous as the hunt itself. The journey from fragile cub to thriving pride member is fraught with challenges, demanding vigilance, sacrifice, and unyielding resolve from every lioness. From the moment they are born, lion cubs face a gauntlet of dangers. Hidden away in dense thickets or rocky outcrops, the nursery is both sanctuary and trap. For the first weeks of life, the cubs are blind and helpless, relying entirely on their mother's protection. She nurses them in secrecy, venturing out only at dusk or dawn to rejoin the pride for brief hunts, always returning before dawn's first light. But the threats are never far. Rival predators, hyenas, leopards, and even large birds of prey scour the savanna for any sign of vulnerability. A single careless scent or the faintest cry can betray the cub's location. The lioness must move her litter frequently, carrying each cub by the scruff through treacherous terrain to evade detection. Even within the pride, safety is not guaranteed. The arrival of new males intent on claiming leadership brings a deadly risk. In the upheaval of a takeover, incoming males may kill unweaned cubs to bring the lionesses back into estrus, ensuring the continuation of their own bloodline. This stark reality forces mothers to hide their young, sometimes for weeks, waiting for the threat to pass. Survival is a daily test. Food is scarce and competition fierce. Lionesses often go hungry to ensure their cubs are fed first, but milk alone cannot sustain them for long. As the cubs grow, they are gradually introduced to meat, learning to feed at the fringes of a kill. Here, they must jostle with siblings and older pride members for scraps, honing the instincts that will one day serve them in the hunt. Disease and injury also take their toll. The rough-and-tumble play of cubs is not just recreation. It is training for survival, a chance to build strength and coordination under the watchful gaze of their mothers and aunts. But even the most attentive care cannot shield every cub from the hazards of the wild. The odds are daunting. Fewer than half of all lion cubs survive their first year, yet out of this crucible the pride's future is forged. Each surviving cub is a testament to the devotion and resilience of the lionesses, whose tireless efforts secure the next generation. In the end, the nursery is both a place of tender beginnings and relentless trials, a world where every day is a struggle and every triumph is hard-won. Through these hidden struggles, the pride not only endures, but thrives, passing the lessons of survival from mother to cub, generation after generation. Across the vast savanna, the seasons are never still. As rains sweep across the plains and rivers swell, the landscape transforms, drawing herds of wildebeest, zebra, and buffalo in sweeping migrations that reshape the very fabric of the ecosystem. For lion prides, these seasonal movements are more than a change of scenery. They are a force that can redefine the structure and dynamics of the pride itself. When prey migrates in search of greener pastures, lion prides must adapt or risk starvation. Some prides follow the herds, venturing into unfamiliar territories, while others remain behind, relying on dwindling resident prey or shifting their hunting strategies. These choices can fracture long-established bonds. Subgroups may split off, with older cubs and subordinate females forming satellite units, temporarily or even permanently altering the pride's composition. The influx of prey attracts not only lions, but rival predators and competing prides. Territorial boundaries blur as groups converge on the richest hunting grounds. Tensions escalate, resulting in fierce confrontations and, at times, violent clashes. In these turbulent periods, dominant males are tested, forced to defend their pride's core against both external threats and internal dissent. For the lionesses, the shifting tides mean adapting to new landscapes and prey behaviors. Cooperative hunting becomes more complex as the pride navigates unfamiliar terrain, learning again to move as a cohesive unit. The youngest cubs, still finding their place within the group, must adjust to the uncertainties of a mobile life, long treks, sporadic meals, and the ever-present danger of separation. But migration also brings opportunity. New alliances may be forged as prides interact at the edges of their territories. Lone males drawn by the movement of prey may attempt to join or challenge existing coalitions, injecting fresh genetics into the pride. Meanwhile, lionesses with overlapping ranges may temporarily unite for mutual benefit, sharing kills and shelter during the harshest weeks. As the dry season yields to rain and the herds return, the pride must once again recalibrate. Some members reunite, others remain apart, and the social fabric is rewoven in response to the ever-changing rhythm of the Savannah. Through it all, the structure of the pride is not fixed, but fluid, shaped by the pulse of the wild, the movement of prey, and the resilience of lions determined to survive. In this dance of adaptation, the pride's strength lies in its ability to change, ensuring its legacy endures with every passing season. In the world of lions, territory is everything, a lifeline to survival, status, and security. But unlike human borders drawn on maps, the boundaries of a lion pride are invisible lines etched across the savanna, in a language only the wild can read. At the heart of this territorial ballet lies a powerful tool scent marking. Each dawn and dusk, the pride's dominant males rise to their ancient duty, patrolling the edges of their realm. Muscles tense, eyes alert, they traverse grasslands, acacia thickets, and dusty pathways, pausing at key landmarks, a gnarled tree, a termite mound, the crest of a hill. Here they unleash a potent cocktail of pheromones, urine sprayed high, glands rubbed against rough bark, and deep resonant roars that carry for miles. These chemical signatures are far more than simple warnings. They are personal messages, broadcasting the health, strength, and presence of the pride's defenders. Lionesses, too, play their part. While less conspicuous, their scent helps reinforce the pride's claim, especially along well-trodden game trails and near water sources. Together, these olfactory markers weave an ever-changing tapestry of identity, signaling to rivals where danger lies and to kin where safety can be found. But the work is never finished. The savanna is a living, shifting stage. Wind, rain, and the passage of other animals quickly erase these scented boundaries. Patrols must be frequent and thorough, especially during times of upheaval, such as after seasonal migrations or the arrival of nomadic males. Skipping even a single patrol can invite disaster. Intruders breach the perimeter, scouting for weaknesses, while neighboring prides probe for unguarded stretches. Confrontations are rare but decisive. When rival scent is detected, the response is swift. Males regroup, their postures harden, and the air vibrates with tension. Roars escalate into standoffs, and, if neither side yields, brutal clashes erupt, sometimes with fatal consequences. Yet, for all its volatility, this system brings order to the chaos of the wild. Scent marking and patrols minimize unnecessary conflict, allowing prides to coexist with a delicate balance of power. Young cubs learn these rituals early, following in the paw prints of their elders, absorbing the intricate art of reading and renewing the pride's invisible borders. In the end, the pride's sovereignty is not held by force alone, but by the relentless rhythm of scent and vigilance, a silent, enduring dialogue with both friend and foe. It is here, in the unseen language of the Savannah, that the true boundaries of the lion's kingdom are drawn. Across the sun-baked savannas the pulse of life is governed by the rains. But when the skies withhold their promise, and the rivers retreat into cracked earth, a new and merciless chapter unfolds for lion prides, a chapter written in the language of drought and scarcity. The first signs are subtle. Waterholes shrink, grass withers, and the great herds that sustain the lions begin to move on, searching for greener pastures. The pride's territory, once teeming with prey, becomes a land of silent footfalls and empty horizons. Hunting parties grow longer and more desperate, lionesses traversing greater distances under the relentless sun, their bodies lean and energy reserves dwindling. As resources vanish, the social fabric of the pride is tested. Competition intensifies, not just with rival predators, but within the pride itself. Tensions flare at the scarce remains of a kill, cubs jostle for scraps, and even the dominant males may be forced to defend their share against hungry lionesses. The usual harmony gives way to a harsher order, where only the strongest and most cunning can secure enough food. For the cubs, these are the hardest days. Milk grows scarce as the mothers themselves weaken. The harsh arithmetic of survival sets in. Some cubs will not make it through the drought, their tiny bodies succumbing quietly to hunger and thirst. Yet in this crucible, the survivors learn the unforgiving lessons of the wild far sooner than nature intended. The pride's bonds are further strained as individuals may be forced to split off, seeking water or prey beyond familiar borders. Nomadic lions, driven by desperation, encroach on established territories, leading to more frequent and violent clashes. The boundaries marked so diligently by scent and patrol become blurred, challenged by the primal need for survival. But even in desolation, the pride endures. Lionesses adapt, shifting their hunting tactics to exploit new opportunities, ambushing weakened prey at the last muddy pools, or scavenging where they must. The pride's cohesion, though strained, becomes its greatest asset, as cooperation is the only defense against hunger and encroaching rivals. When the rains finally return, the transformation is swift and profound. Grasslands revive, herds return, and the pride's fortunes rise with the swelling rivers. Those who have endured the drought emerge scarred but wiser, their resilience etched into every sinew. In the cycle of feast and famine, the pride is forged anew, its survival a testament to adaptation, unity, and the relentless will to endure. Across the tapestry of Africa's wild heart, certain lion prides have risen above the ordinary, etching their stories into the very landscape they roam. These legendary prides are more than groups of lions. They are living dynasties, their histories woven into the ecosystem, shaping the balance of power across generations. In the vast plains of the Serengeti, the marsh pride stands as a symbol of endurance and adaptability. For decades, their saga has unfolded beneath the acacia trees and in the tall golden grass, marked by fierce matriarchs and coalitions of formidable males. Their reign has seen the rise and fall of rival prides, echoing the timeless struggle for dominance. Through drought, flood, and the constant threat of hyenas and leopards, the marsh pride's unity and tactical prowess have become the stuff of legend, inspiring documentaries and researchers alike. Further south, the Mapogo coalition of the Sabi Sands Reserve stormed into history with unprecedented force. 6 powerful males bound by blood and ambition swept across territories, toppling established prides and rewriting the rules of pride leadership. Their brutal campaigns left an indelible mark, but it was not only their strength, but their strategic alliances that set them apart. The Mapogo's legacy is a testament to the sheer impact a coalition can have, altering bloodlines and reshaping the genetic future of entire regions. In the Okavango Delta, The Tsaro pride navigates a labyrinth of water channels and shifting islands, adapting to a world where land and water are in constant flux. Their cubs learn to swim before they can hunt, and their hunting tactics are tailored to the unique challenges of this flooded wilderness. Here the Tsaro lions embody the power of adaptation, surviving and thriving where others might falter. These legendary prides are not mere footnotes in natural history. Their stories ripple outward, influencing the behavior of neighboring prides, the movement of prey herds, and the strategies of rival predators. Their triumphs and tragedies are preserved in the scars of survivors and the shifting boundaries of their domains. As the sun sets and the lion's roars echo across the savannah, the legacy of these iconic prides endures. Each generation inherits the wisdom, strength, and spirit of those who came before, forging a living lineage that continues to shape the wilds of Africa. In every paw print, a story; in every pride, a legend. The savannah remembers, and so do we.